Greetings, YouTube. You are staring at the new October champion who looks just like he, and I'm assuming it's a he, maybe it's a she, maybe we're all being punked, is fitting right into the October theme of Halloween because that is quite the champion. It looks like Nightcrawler evolved with Doctor Strange's help into some kind of Dormammu level hidden nightmare, a hellscape, if you will. I'm totally down. Anytime somebody's glowing eyes, you got eyes on me, boy. Whatever the heck that means. But hey, we're going to talk about the patch 20.01 or 20.1 release notes. Although, as much as we're going to talk about the hype regarding Carnage and Venom and all of the October events, this video specifically for me is all about finally addressing some weaknesses with my boy Juggernaut, a champion that was my second best champion for a very long time. Keep in mind, besides Star-Lord, Juggernaut was my number 2. He was my second rank 4 5-star until I got a rank down ticket and ranked up someone better. But Juggernaut was also a key for me to guarantee myself damage when I first took on the Collector, over a year ago. But let's talk about the version 20.1 release notes, and we are just going to say it's a new quest, it's a new month. We have discussed that we are really fascinated with this Doctor Strange kind of theme. It says, help guillotine Doctor Strange and an unlikely ally, Venom, take down the symbiotic sorcerer. And it sounds like that's a champ they are making up, kind of like guillotine, just for the sake of Marvel Contest of Champions. The Occult Laboratory, super pumped up about. It's going to be back to the days of the randomizer, kind of like MODOK's Lab, where you're going to face a string of really difficult buffs, and if you're not excited to fight them or the champions, you can roll the dice. I kind of thought this was very challenging before, and now that we have new crazy defenders like Iron Man Infinity War and Killmonger and even more MODOKs, Medusas, if they put Emma Frost in there, Korgs, and you have them all in a row, you're just going to need to change your pair of pants after you get done with that daily quest. So just a warning, bring multiple pairs of underwear if you're going into that path, especially on the epic difficulty. My little symbiote, whether or not you're naming your symbiote Bob or Gary or someone else, you can totally train yours up. Now, I have seen some people push back on this event, and they're actually saying, I hate this idea. I don't want to put all this time and effort into someone that I'm only going to keep for a month. Like, I'm going to try to not be a negative Nancy about this. I like when Kabam tries something new and gives us something fresh, doesn't keep with those terrible assassin assignments. So I'm going to be optimistic until I have a reason not to be. And if I no longer am, well, I guess you'll see a future video on that. But we're going to scroll down. We're going to keep looking at this. It does say, be forewarned, the power of both the summoned symbiote and the enhancements is limited. Come the end of the event, the enhancements will vanish, and the symbiote will return to parts unknown. Is this the purgatory of MCOC? Stay tuned. Bug fixes and improvements. So this is what I want to talk about mainly. All right, so some champions get stuck mid-animation and remain that way. You want to talk about how many people have messaged me that that's happened to them, especially in Alliance War, when people say that my game is lagging and the champion freezes for 2 minutes and then 2 out of 3 of the minutes of the timer are suddenly gone and they have to time out. That's what that is. And it sucks that Kabam is fixing it, but it took a month to fix it. I can't imagine how many people were affected in Alliance War that were playing the right way and still lost because of lag, especially on certain Android devices. But let's hope and pray and knock on anything that could be wood that this patch 20.1 is going to fix the insanely terrible lag that has been around Marvel Contest of Champions, especially in recent months. All right, character fixes and improvements. Angela fixed an issue where her signature ability was not properly preventing enemy nullify effects, fixed an issue where Angela's aptitude buff would show an incorrect icon. Those aren't that big of a deal. Carnage, let's talk about Carnage. I was not part of the beta test, so I wanted to wait until their official release. Some people were, again, haters and thought that just because they did a beta test didn't mean they were actually going to improve the champs. I thought, no, if they're going to spend all this time, they're going to want to release them, especially in October when we're talking about a Venom-themed monthly event. And I'm here to be excited about the fact that this is the case. And most importantly, with the bleed damage and the power gain, Carnage is going to be fantastic and a lot of fun to play. And instead of being like the worst champ, he's going to be one of the best just in terms of enjoyment. And it's a mobile video game, right? You should have fun playing with champions. You should get excited about bringing a champion that back in the Super Nintendo era of my childhood, you needed Venom and Spider-Man in a game together to team up to have a chance to beat Carnage. He should be that OP, not somebody that's about as good as generic toilet paper. And now, thankfully, he is. All right, so Doctor Strange fixed an issue where Doctor Strange's counterspell was not removing all buff types. I have seen that problem for a while now, but kabam! Could you stop being drunk and give us a 5-star Doctor Strange already? You already nerfed him to the ground after patch 12.0. It's about time we get a 5-star Doctor Strange. Electro, like really? A champion no one asked for as a 5-star, but we can't get Doctor Strange. I'm not expecting you to give us 5-star Wolverine or Scarlet Witch anytime soon, sadly, but at least give us a 5-star Doctor Strange. Wouldn't that be awesome to have a limited crystal with that? I'm just saying. Dr. Voodoo fixed an issue where Dr. Voodoo was not triggering Mystic Dispersion when converting Lois with his special 2 attack. Is it Lois or Leis or Lois? I've seen it pronounced all those ways. I don't know. Emma Frost, it's amazing. Emma Frost was just introduced and she already has some issues, right? Emma Frost was not immune to Cold Snap while in Diamond form. Emma Frost's heavy attack range was larger than it should be, which, again, if you died a whole bunch because of that, Kabam didn't fix it until after the Emma Frost event is over. Can you say shady? Because that is some shady BS. Okay, Juggernaut. Hence the title of this video. We get a Juggernaut buff. Heck yes. When unstoppable, if Juggernaut is stunned, which yes includes parry, Juggernaut will remove the stun debuff and apply his heavy attack stagger debuff to the opponent. That is fantastic. Long overdue. And I want to say I feel so bad. Isn't it Act 4 that you've got that Juggernaut with, what is it, Caltrops? Where if you dash back, you take an insane amount of damage. I was so thankfully lucky that before I downloaded the Ultimate Patch 12.0 that wrecked the game, I used pre-Patch 12.0 Scarlet Witch to just stun lock Juggernaut the entire time and take care of that node. Of course, if you are starting the game now, you do not have such a convenience. So Juggernaut's going to be tougher because if you have to stun him and not be dashing back to take that damage, you will be getting that stagger debuff in the process. So Juggernaut's going to be tougher on defense, even with the Mystic Dispersion changes. I think it's long overdue, but I still feel really bad for the people who have to fight BS Juggernauts that are much harder now than they were a couple years ago. So my heart and my sympathy is with you. At the same time, I am glad I am not you, because the game would be a lot harder for me to clear, and I'm thankful Act 5 is over as well. All right, so the chance to apply a stagger from Juggernaut's heavy attack has been increased from 90 to 100%. Also, fantastic update. I don't get these 90%, 10% chance to not get something that should be automatic. I think Kabam's finally coming around to that as well. King Groot, I still hate fighting King Groot. Fixed an issue where King Groot's poison inflicted from his special 2 attack was not scaling correctly with his modified attack rating. So that means those of you who have a 6-star King Groot, this should instantly make him better on defense. So kudos to you. I still hate fighting King Groot, especially in Alliance War. Korg fixed an issue where Nightcrawler was able to apply his Deep Wounds Bleed on Korg, which is total BS. Fixed an issue with Medusa, where the expiry of her signature ability Fury buffs were only triggering Mystic Dispersion once, regardless of the number of buffs expiring. Note, she still does not trigger Mystic Dispersion if those buffs are consumed to trigger her auto block. And then Rhino fixed an issue where Rhino's unblockable text will only appear against extra large champions. Man, that's so random. She-Hulk also, at one point, for those of you who play with She-Hulk, Lord help you, She-Hulk, apparently the 5-star version, was providing a positive effect to the opponent as opposed to the stated negative effect, which would be really weird that your signature ability is making it harder for you to win a fight. She-Hulk makes it hard enough. Thor Jane Foster issue where Thor Jane Foster was indefinitely able to charge her heavy attack. Don't know how that looks. And then, yes, Venom. We have improved Venom. He is now going to be way better to play, a lot more fun. I still think Carnage would be a little bit more fun, but I've been told by some people in the beta that they preferred Venom. So I guess it's just, whatever you prefer. So we don't know about all the rewards that we're going to get yet in this monthly quest. I think that that's going to be coming pretty darn soon. But I'm excited. I'm excited about these changes, but the changes mean nothing if the lag situation is not sorted out. So please, Kabam, give us a game that doesn't freeze, doesn't slow down. My biggest complaint with lag is that it'd be one thing if you were in slow motion and they were in slow motion, but they're in regular motion and you're in slow motion, so they can block and counter attacks that they should not be able to do within combos or not within combos. Either way, that's the BS. So we are ready for October. We are going to scroll all the way to the top and leave you with this image of what I believe to be a original champion in MCOC. And I think this is going to be somebody. It looks like a combination of Doctor Strange and Nightcrawler and, yes, Dormammu. And who knows? They're probably going to be pretty tough. I would imagine so. So good luck to all of you out there who will be going for the most difficulty and raising that 1-star to a 6-star. This guy looks to be very tough. But Juggernaut, thank God, finally getting a buff.